In this first look video from InfluenceWP, we are checking out a WordPress plugin called Magic Login Pro, which, as it shows here on my screen, is the ultimate solution for password-free WordPress logins. Before we poke around the website here a bit and look at the actual solution together, a quick bit of housekeeping. First look videos cover products and services that we have no prior experience with. They show vendors how new users experience their website, product, and services for the very first time. These videos are unedited, high-level introductions that are not paid for, they're not sponsored, and they contain no affiliate links. If you would like videos like this or other types of videos created for your business, go to influencewp.com/partners and request your free lifetime partner membership. And we thank Magic Login Pro for being a partner. If you go over to InfluenceWP, find the deal section, do a search for Magic Login Pro, and grab that exclusive deal from them. All right. Okay, the website we are looking at here is Handy Plugins, all one word, handyplugins.co/magic-login-pro. Okay, so let's run through the features real quick so we don't miss any when we go to actually look at the solution together. We'll just run through these real quick. Domain restrictions, so allow only certain domains to use the magic links. IP control, similar concept, but only we're locking it down by IP. Brute force protection, limit rate of login attempts, and block IPs temporarily. So if it detects that someone's trying to brute force log in, we can temporarily block those IPs. Login request throttling, so limit login link generation for a certain period of time. Login redirects, WP-CLI support, SMS logins. So like you want to send SMS text to a phone, for example, and then they can log in via that. You can do a QR code login, and then registration. Easily let users register directly from the login form or with a short code. All right, let's just keep on going down, see what we can see. Real quick, just a quick note is Handy Plugins has a number of products. So we will be doing videos for these as well here in the near future, but you can also already go out to InfluenceWP and grab exclusive deals for these other solutions. Looks like you can follow them on Twitter, Twitter, Facebook, GitHub, and WordPress. All right, let's go back up to the header and see if there's anything up here I need to point out. Let's go to the docs. Let's go to the About page. So again, we're looking at Magic Login Pro. So let's click. Oh, it looks like the search actually searches all of these. Okay. Okay, so that's cool. You can choose the category. So we could say Magic Login Pro and then search within that. Let's just do SMS. And we have some Ajax returning some options here. So let's go ahead and just check out some of these guides. Very nice, very nice. Let's just poke into WooCommerce integration. Very nice. Okay, I'm going to pull this over to my other screen in case we need it. And here we have the team behind Handy Plugins. So cool to see faces with names. Very good. All right, let's go ahead and move on. So what I have here is the latest version of WordPress, just a couple plugins. WooCommerce is currently active in Magic Login Pro, and we are just using the latest version of WordPress. Can't remember if I already said that. And then we're just using the Ollie block theme. And yeah, let's get rolling. So once I installed and activated Magic Login Pro under settings, I believe it was. There we go. Settings, Magic Login Pro. All right, let's see what we have in here. So I have a note at the top. Please activate your license on this domain. Valid license key is required to access automatic updates and support. Okay, so I don't think we're going to need the key to unlock any specific features, but let's go ahead and do that. Let me just log in real quick on my other screen, just in case. All right, let me go ahead and license this up and we will continue on here. Okay, we are licensed up. We're good to go. Let's go back to the main screen for Magic Login Pro. Okay, so this first tab we're looking at has everything to do with logging in. We can, at the very top here, force Magic Login, change default login behavior, and use Magic Login as the default login method. Okay, let's really quickly pull up Let's pull up our test site here in another browser where we are not logged in, just to see the current login situation. Okay, so this is what we're going to get. Again, WooCommerce is activated. We see a login and register option here. And we will see how this changes. Okay, use Magic Login by default. Magic Login form is accessible here. So let's go ahead. We'll just open that. And can we open that? Let's copy that. Let's force Magic Login to be on by default. Toggle that on. And where do we save our changes? Okay. All the way down here at the bottom. Just a bit of feedback. It would be cool to have an update settings option right here at the top so we don't have to scroll all the way to the bottom. Just a quick bit of feedback. Let's update that. Okay, so we forced Magic Login to be the default now. I'm going to actually just take myself off the screen here. Okay, let's go ahead and refresh this. Let's paste in that URL that we copied. Okay, there we go. So that is our backend. So let's do this. Let me open my email client. All right, so I have not registered for the site or anything. I'm not logged in. I'm just going to go in here and do my email address. So this site, for all intents and purposes, has no idea who I am on this other browser. Send me a link. Okay, check your inbox for the login link. So let me just wait. We'll wait for that to come in. This is where, while we're waiting, this is where it's really important that you have transactional emails working, because this is super important stuff. Now, it just landed in my junk folder. This is just a test site, so I haven't gone through all of the links of doing DMARC and all SPF, all of those types of things to make sure that I'm landing in inboxes. Just something to keep in mind on your side of things. Make sure this stuff is landing in the actual inbox. So let me just get this moved over to my inbox so it doesn't think it's junk. Okay, there we go. So this is what I received right here. Here is that magic link. Let's just go ahead and click login. Boom, there we go. Now, let me do this a different way. So let me grab that email again. Where are we at here? There we go. I'm going to grab this link, and we're going to drop it in this other browser. Here we go. Invalid magic login token. Please try a new one. All right, let's create a new one. I think it's because I used it in my other browser accidentally, which I was already able to log into. So let's try this again. The other thing I want to do is I want to go back into this site and let's just clear out that account. So this one right. Let's do this. Let me use a different email address. So in my other screen, I'm just putting in one of my other agency addresses, and I'm just going to send myself another link. Interesting. There's no account with that username or email address. All right, let's go back to Magic Login. So it assumes that you already have an account and you're registered. Okay. Let's go to actually registration here. Registration. Enable registration. Allow users to register to your site magically. Okay, let's do that. Okay, now with that in place, let's go to our other browser. Here we go. So let's pull this up. We are logged out. Okay, so let's go ahead and register. Because we've forced Magic Login Pro to be our default provider, so to speak, I should get a magic link to sign in that way. So in this new browser, it also registered me. So let me go check my inbox. Yeah, okay. So this is what I got. This is the email I received. Okay, interesting. So it doesn't really talk about magic login, but it did allow me to register. So maybe it's saying, okay, let's go. Oh, that didn't get saved here. So let's toggle that back on, update our settings. There we go. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, let's go back in here and make sure this stuck that time. Okay, it did. Okay, let's go back over here. Here we go. Let's refresh. Let's go to registration. Okay, let's just wait to see what comes in now. Okay, while we are waiting on that, oh, here we go. Murphy's Law, as soon as I move it away. Okay, I got the email. Okay, so it says it registered me. So let's go over here into users. Okay, it did register right here. Okay, so I guess it's saying because we've determined that Magic Login is our provider, and so to speak, we're also allowing just registration to work through there as well. And let's go ahead and look through this. Registration mode, automatically register if the user enters an email address that has not been registered. Okay. You can also do a standard registration form. The registration form will be displayed and the email address is not, if the email address is not found during login. Okay. Only with registration shortcode do not integrate with Magic Login form. So lots of really, really cool options. So I've registered. Let's go ahead and say now that I log out and I was to come over here and try to log in. And then we've got that same form, this one right here. So let's just pretend this is where we sent people to log into our site. There we go. And then now I could say, because I've already registered, I could come back in here in the future, put in my email address, send me my link. And we'll just wait for that email to come through. Okay, while we're waiting, let's bounce around here a little bit. So it just came in again. It just keeps doing it right as I start to move on. Okay, so here we go. This is the email I was sent. Here's the magic link. Again, I didn't have to put a password or anything in. I'm just going to copy this link. Normally you just click on it, but I'm going to copy it so I can put it in this other browser where I am not logged in. There we go. So it got us right in. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Back here on the login tab, let's go ahead and continue. Show on login form, add a magic login button to the standard login form. So let's do this. Let's log out on my other screen. Just getting in that standard URL there. So here we go. This is the standard URL. If I take out the magic login part and we just do wp-login-.php, it's going to there. So it's going to bring us redirect, so to speak, to the magic login. So we are good to go there. Let's try this. I think what this means is if we don't do this, if we don't use magic login by default, let's turn that off. I think we should see a button. According to this, we should see a magic login button on the standard login form. Okay, let's try this because that's WooCommerce. So let's just try the standard login form. There we go. Okay, so here's the button. Super cool. All right, that is that. Moving on down, we've got token lifespan. So how long is the time to live for the token? So you get that email. How long is that good for. You've got a lot of options there. Token validity, how many times a token can be used, auto login links, add magic login links to outgoing emails. This could be useful when there's an action waiting for the user. Reply for comments, complete shipping, complete shopping, etc. Enable magic login for WooCommerce. Integrate with the so if you want to add like a magic login button, whatever for the checkout form, you can do that. Let's go ahead and check that one out. You can choose the placement. We will do after the WooCommerce form. That's the login form. Okay, let's try that. Let's just see if we can trigger that. Okay, let's go to our shop. Let's add this to our cart, view our cart, proceed to checkout, and not seeing it there. Maybe I missed something here. Integrate with WooCommerce checkout form, streamline checkout experience. Enable customer login form. Automatically add magic login to WooCommerce customer. Let's toggle that on. Just see if that triggers something. Save. Refresh. Maybe this is because, let's go to WooCommerce. Let's go to settings. Accounts and privacy. Account creation. Okay, during checkout. So that we need to check that box. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, let's go back here and refresh. Let's go back to Magic Login Pro. Integrate with WooCommerce checkout form. Okay, before login form. What else do I have? Let's go back to WooCommerce. Enable login during checkout. Okay, let's refresh again. We have the option now here to log in. I haven't used the Ollie theme, which is what we're using here with WooCommerce checkout like extensively. So I'm kind of learning this as I go too of what we need to do or where things are located. Let's go log in. There we go. So then we have the magic login link. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. Brute force protection, if you want to turn that on. Login request throttling, if you want to turn that on. IP checks. We won't get into all of this, but just know that you have various ways to lock down your site and protect yourself and your website. Email subject, if you want to adjust that, and then it looks like we've got placeholders where we can adjust certain things. So like if you want to dynamically say, so right here it says log into site name is a dynamic tag, if you will. So it's going to just dynamically put that in. And here we go. Placeholders. So here we see the supported placeholders, everything that you can use there. All right. So then you build that email content as well, however it is that you want. So you've got the email subject, and then you've got the content of the email. All right. Then we have, do we want to specify a login login redirect? I cannot talk. A login redirect, enable custom login redirection. And you've got different options there for that. Enable Ajax on form requests. It allows you to send links without refreshing the current page. API access, if you want to get into the REST API. Let's move over to registration. We've covered this pretty much, the different registration modes. Domain restrictions, so you can lock this down to specific domains. If you want to lock it down to specific user roles, you can do that. Here's the registration email. Again, you got the email subject. You can change the content of the email using these various placeholders. Redirection, enable redirection. So this is going to redirect users to a specific page after a successful registration. So maybe you've got an onboarding page, and after the user redirects, you take them to that onboarding page automatically and kind of walk them through what they're supposed to do next. Let's go to spam protection. So it looks like reCAPTCHA is enabled by default. I would recommend personally, before we do that, if you're going to use reCAPTCHA, you have to come down here and put your keys in, whether you're using V2 or V3 and what type of mode you want. I personally recommend Cloudflare Turnstile. If you use Cloudflare. This is a free service. I recommend you use Cloudflare as well, for not only for performance, for security, that sort of thing. And then if you use Cloudflare, just come in here, check Cloudflare turnstile, punch in your keys, and you should be pretty much good to go. If you want to do spam protection for registration, you can toggle that on. If you want to do it for login, toggle that on. Let's go over to SMS. We won't get into this very much, but there is a Twilio integration. So you could set that up to send SMS. You can enable SMS login. Here you can adjust the SMS messages. You can add a phone number field to the registration form, send SMS after registration. You can customize that message as well. Very, very cool stuff. I got to say, super, super cool stuff. All right. Over in tools, if you need to more of troubleshooting here. If you need to reset some settings, reset the license, delete all tokens. If you need to export data for whatever reason, you can do that. If you need to import data, so like maybe we've fully configured this site, for example, we've got all the settings dialed in exactly as we like them. And you're an agency, maybe you've got multiple sites for yourself as your agency, or maybe you've got a bunch of client sites. Then you can roll this out using this export import. And then lastly, we have the license. Okay. All right, Magic Login Pro. Let's go ahead and click on this documentation link at the top there. Make sure that works. It does. And it takes you right into Magic Login Pro. Very, very awesome. Okay. Magic Login Pro. Again, go to InfluenceWP.com, find the deals area, grab the exclusive deal for this awesome plugin. Again, thank you for being a partner, Handy Plugins and Magic Login Pro. And then I will catch you in the next video.